Hi, I'm Dave Raffo, and this is another edition of Channel Partners TV, or what we call CPTV. And I'm joined by Jason Coville, who is the SVP of MSP Business for Aura. So, welcome, Jason.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Dave. Thanks for having me.
So, Aura does personal IT theft protection, device protection. How does ignoring BYOD, bring your own device security, how does that limit an MSP's ability to deliver truly end-to-end protection?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think first of all, I always think about MSPs are on the front line of the front line of the unmanaged device all day, every day from a security perspective. There's a constant tug of war of how do I apply the appropriate level of security with an individual's personal device. I think the reality is that when we surveyed the MSP community, about 37% of them came back saying that they've experienced a security incident. And then, recognizing that the individual and the employee is kind of at the forefront of the phishing attacks, right? So that's really what MSPs are looking for, trying to prevent. But the reality is they're trying to figure out is like, what is the best way to manage kind of like the unmanageable? And they have to provide something that it's, easy to deploy. It doesn't introduce more complexity to their already complicated, models of how they actually, provide coverage for their SMBs. And then also something where the employees aren't going to resist adoption, right? That's always kind of like the tough compromise for protecting a BYD device.
Yeah, I mean, as you mentioned, you don't want to add complexity to this. It's already can be complex, and but so how does a simpler what does a simpler privacy first alternative look like for MSPs?
So I think it's going to come down to a healthy balance of a give and take between the employee and the employer, right? There's the way that it's kind of done today is through either mobile device management, mobile access management. You've got this method where it's kind of a one-way street. The MSP and the company want to apply security policies to a personal device, and they use complicated tools like an MDM, and it's kind of a no benefit for the employee. All the benefit is for the company. So therefore, you get a lot of resistance from the employee putting corporate items on like their personal device. I mean, we all at some point, have had Outlook and other corporate applications on our phones. It's kind of like the nature of how we do business, unfortunately, but really the privacy and the security needs to come along with that. We're protecting access rather than controlling the entire device, right? So what's important to us when we kind of surveyed a lot of the MSPs is really about how do we actually protect the business applications that are on the personal devices. And that's mostly where we're spending a lot of our time today is how do we provide that privacy first mentality to the BYOD motion.
So what's going on out there that makes this the right time for Aura to get into the MSP market?
Yeah, I think this is the right time for us now. I think MSPs are starting to see that the new perimeter are people's personal devices, right? They think they've done a great job historically at managing inside the four walls of networking and firewalls and things like that. And as employees kind of stretch beyond the perimeters of, just working from home, it's now they're working from airports and dental offices, right? They're all over the place. So, for us to be able to make sure that that security extends to the employee is really important. We also, we talk to a lot of MSPs that either are taking this very complicated approach of, managing through MDM or mobile access management and is met with a lot of resistance. And it's hard for these MSPs to essentially manage these, SMB or the small to medium-sized businesses with very expensive security tools. So I like to think that we're introducing that is a great benefit to both the employee and the employer, where it's a good handshake agreement between the employee and the company, where if you keep your mobile device in good security standing, I will give you access to the business applications. But also in that same handshake, we're going to give you other controls, personal controls like a password manager, a vault. You're going to get a scam protection for email, phone, and text message. We also assist in removing your data off of the dark web or just the data brokers. So there's a lot of personal benefit when it comes to to the employee using a product to gain access to the business applications. So it's met with much less resistance from an MSP when they're introducing this to their customers. They see it as a great win-win for the employee and the employer.
Yeah, it's certainly a very busy area and one that needs to be addressed. So our business will be at the Channel Partners Conference in April. So what can we expect to see at the Aura Business booth at the MSP Summit, which is
Yeah,
co-located with the Channel Partners Conference?
Yeah, we're excited about it. We're really making sure that we're getting the message out for the or for business side of the house, especially introducing it to MSPs. But we're going to be, we'll be doing demos and presentations at our booth. Booth number, I think it's MSP 4. And then we're also going to have a mentalist, Devante, who's great. He does the, guess your password and to your phone and things like that. And then we'll demonstrate how is best to kind of prevent those types of things from happening. So I think it'd be a good interactive booth. It'd be fun for people to stop by and say hello, and I think learn more about a great alternative to how you kind of focus on personal privacy and manage business applications to the corporate world.
So we'll see you at the Channel Partners Conference and MSP Summit, Jason.
Yeah, very excited. It's a great event for us. We're going to be, we'll be at the booth. We'll be giving demonstrations of the product and how we can extend the, privacy first for your BYOD devices. We're also going to have a mentalist, Devante, there as well. He does the old trick of, guessing your password and things like that. And we're going to help you prevent, give you some tips and tricks on how to prevent that from happening. And, we're very excited about it.
I get worried when they guess my weight, let alone my password. But
Yeah, I don't know which is worse these days.
all right, so look forward to seeing you out there, and I hope to see you all watching this April 13th through the 16th at the Channel Partners Conference, co-located with the MSP Summit in at the Venetian in beautiful Las Vegas. We'll see you all there.